I welcome everyone for this seminar. So today we will be discussing on the topic what will we call as collaborative robots. As you all know, in upcoming years, cobots will be leading the robotic industry. So the topic is very important for us to understand and to implement as soon as possible in our industrial ecosystem. The ability of collaborative robot to share tasks with human and flexibility adapt to new requirements can provide high returns on investment in wide variety of industrial applications. Even manufacturers employ these robots to uh, recap the benefits of integrated safety features that allow them to work with or close by humans and boost productivity for the wide variety of repetitive tasks. Modern manufacturing has been characterized by rise of machines. Gradually, robots have replaced human workers on assembly lines, carrying out repetitive tasks, and they are like easy to replicate. For example, on vehicle production lines, a robotic arm can hold a car door in a place while another bolts it to the frame. The automation of repetitive tasks has increased productivity, leading to cost savings and cheaper products. Until recently, complex assembly tasks or one that involve different approach each time manufacturing customized products, consider for instance, have remained in the hands of human workers. So what has changed? What has changed till now? We are witnessing the beginnings of smart robot revolution, which is driven by new smart technology, the Internet of Things, and Industry 4.0. The rise of cobots here is imminent. So that it's estimated that human handling of materials and objects on the assembly line can be reduced by up to 75% depending on the items being made. So improvements in sensing technology have allowed manufacturing robots to come out from behind their cages and safety exclusion zones and work directly next or with human operators. Modern cobots can sense the presence of humans or abnormal objects in their path and are programmed to cease or reverse their motion. So in fact, health and safety improvement is one of the main benefit of these machines as they can be used for heavy lifting or dangerous tasks previously undertaken by people. So meanwhile, service robots are designed to interact with humans, but they differ from collaborative robots because service robots are not intended for industrial use. Unlike collaborative robots, traditional industrial robots do not interact with humans because they are large, heavy, and move at very high speeds. So here we can understand what is collaborative robot. So it is being like if it collaborates with human in some way, like as a guide or uh, as a as a helping guide or as a guide. So unlike autonomous robots which work largely alone and without supervision, collaborative robots are programmed and designed to work with human instructions. We shortly call them as cobot. It means collaborative robots. Yeah, we'll move to next. So what are the key cobot features? Collaborative robots are designed to work with human operators, especially thanks to technologies like force feedback, low inertia servo motors, elastic actuators, and collision detection technology that limit their power and force capabilities to levels suitable for contact. So more compact than conventional cobots generally have lightweight frames with soft, round-edged and minimum pinch points. That's what we say here, power and force limiting. We can use this for the applications like small and highly variable areas and condition require frequent operator presence, machine tending and loading unloading applications. Next we have hand guiding. So many cobots employ intuitive hand guiding mechanism for teaching new tasks without the need to explicitly program the movements of the robotic arm. Hand guiding mode monitors force and speed to ensure that teaching processes complies with safety standards. So with this feature, an operator is able to carry robot anywhere in the space within its workspace for teaching purpose. It means like conventionally we need to use pendants for moving the robot like manual jogging, but now it is made simple. Directly you can hold the robot, put some force on it, and then you can teach the new positions. You just take robot in a in a position where you want to have a new target point, you can just save that position, and then robot is able to like move to that point. Okay, so next we have speed and separation monitoring. Here, for situations where robots and human work independently, a speed and separation monitoring solution uses safety laser scanners to designate protective fields surrounding the robot. As the distance between human worker and robot decreases, robot will slow down. You can consider that there will be a safety scanners which are continuously scanning the area around the cobot, and whenever there is human intervention, cobot reduces its speed of operation in order to protect human from injuries, because much more speed momentum leads to more impact, which leads to again injuries. So here this feature protects us. Safety related monitoring stop is another feature. When force exceeds programmed threshold, robot triggers safety stop and arrest the motion of robot. So here we have some applications like direct part loading, unloading, work in process inspection, speed and separation monitoring. So these are all like features. Then we will move to industrial revolution. Here the first industrial revolution followed the proto-industrialization period. It started at the end of 18th century to the beginning of 19th. The biggest changes came in the industries in the form of mechanism. Mechanism was the reason why agriculture started to be replaced by industries and backbone of sociality economy now. So following the first industrial revolution, almost like a century later, we see the world go through second. It started at end of 19th century with the massive technological advancements in the field of industries that helped the emergence of new source of energy like electricity, gas and oil. Third revolution was the rise of electronics, telecommunications and of course computers. For many people, industry 4.0 here, like what we say cyber physical systems, where like a large portion of people they still disagree that industrial 4.0 is the fourth industrial revolution, but we admit that it is a revolution happening right now. So we are experiencing it every day and its magnitude is yet unknown. So we move to so what are various forms of human robot collaboration. You can see in the green picture, man standing over the blue color workspace and robot is working over green workspace. So both are separated from each other with the partition in between, which is shown in black color strip. So this kind of collaboration is what we say that contact is not possible and there exists safety fence. In second place, you can see that both are separated with the help of photoelectric barrier. It means contact is not desired, but if contact happens, then also no issues. Collaborative robot will detect the presence of operator in the green region and will trigger the safety stop. This kind of collaboration is used when we need to have specific tasks like loading, unloading, where operator is going to load the components to fixture in the green. This is another form of collaboration. We have combined. It means robot and human operator both are able to work in the same workspace, but only when robot is stationary. It means operator can go in contact with robot only when he want to teach it. In this case, robot will be in manual condition. It means it will never exceed its velocity. When we move to next slide, you can see next image. You can see there is shared workspace. It means like next human working hand in hand, and this is so you can see in third workspace like contact is not possible and even not desired, but robot is working, operator and both are working on a single task where they are separated but they are working on the same task. So this is the one case. Final case you can see here. This is a full collaborative kind of application. Here you can see both robot and human are working on the same task, or you can say simultaneous task, and contact is desired. Means like if robot is in contact, this will be fulfilling the application needs. So robot is holding some object and then human is placing it, something like that, or human will be guiding or robot will be assisting, kind of relation here. So here you can see we are going towards the the hike is there in the HRC, human robot collaboration. So in industry you can adopt any of these forms, any of the forms you can adopt in the plant. So whenever you are adopting HRC, you need to see that these are the cases where we can implement HRC, whether maybe a semi HRC, like low HRC, or maybe at a high HRC, like we can see in the graph. Then we have categorized some categories here, like you can see the types depending upon the collaborative effectiveness. So coexistence, here both are separate, human and cobot. And please remember that this is the case where even in coexistence, if operator enters the robot workspace, then also it is not going to harm him, because that's cobot. But according to functionality, it is separated here. So coexistence, synchronized. In synchronized, both are working alternatively, not simultaneously. In cooperation, both are working in a shared workspace, but both tasks are different. In collaboration, both task is same. It means simultaneous work is there, and contact will be happening here with human, like cobot and human. Next, we see benefits of cobot. So when we see benefits, so robot excel a simple repetitive handling task. So here, like repetitive tasks will be quite like boring for operators or human labor, but that same thing can be done with the help of cobot. Humans on the other hand have unique cognitive skills for understanding and adapting any changes in the task. So here we what we call as skill. So that skill we can implement with the help of cobot. That's what major benefit cobot is giving us. The combination of humans and robots can greatly improve performance. So when we are combining both of them, we can improve performance as long as work is optimally shared. Yeah. So human robot collaboration allows for various level of automation and human intervention. And even we have non-ergonomic workstations can be greatly improved with the help of robots here. So another very big benefit we get from cobot is zero accidents. Nowadays plants are concentrating or focusing on zero accidents. This kind of things like are followed by plants. So in order to bring zero accident across the working years, we need to implement cobotic systems. We can see in the picture there are many ways where human operator may get harm in the plant. So like contacting with the harmful substances, or repetitive motion, or sleep, trips, falls, and even contact with objects, overexertion due to repetitive tasks. So these kind of injuries will be avoided when we implement cobots in the plants. You can see what will be the benefits of cobot. In that we have again a ROS support. Much more manufacturers of cobot are providing you API, it means application programming interface. So using that you can implement ROS. Now why ROS? Because ROS is an language independent, and robotic manufacturers provide this API and SDK for ROS integration, which enable direct access to cobot hardware in real time, fulfilling the single point of control. So ROS master will be able to control robot as well as peripheral devices to which it is connected. Example given in the picture, you can see that we have architecture which include conversational interface, computer vision, and cobot. Here conversational interface is converting voice to instructions, and then same is processed by open source platform like Spring Boot API. Similarly, we can see WebEx team conversations are also integrated, and we have computer vision algorithms and advanced recognition here. Java ROS API provides topics and services for ROS integration, through which architecture can control the robot. We can build up the system complying Industrial 4.0. So moving to next slide. Yeah, so what are safety features? This is like we seen features. Now what are safety features of cobot? Typical cobot offers you velocity monitoring, workspace monitoring, collision detection. Collision detection means it will stop whenever there is contact with operator. Force monitoring is also there. Force monitoring and collision monitoring both are different. Collision detection is meant for what we say some sudden impact with the external world. Force monitoring is nothing but it's a process force monitoring. It means whenever a robot is working on some application, and if some force is exceeded there, then that will be triggering some kind of action. Always action is not like stopping or terminating the motion, but it may be a reversal of the motion or going to some other position in the space. So such kind of applications can be done with the help of force monitoring. Tool detection and safe switching of the states. Yeah, so current standard states that robot is only one component in the robot system, and that is itself insufficient for safe collaborative operation. So you can see the graph. We just like see that how cobots will be growing in upcoming days. So we are in 2020 now, and if you see 2017 graph, so you can just like see the pictorial representation how much explosion will be happening in by 2025. So moving to next, increasing adoption of cobots. So cobotic market, you can see here, revenue is also going day by day. You can see how it is rising, and even number of units shipped every year is also much more growing. By Europe, North America, Asia Pacific, and remaining, you can see rest of the world. So in 2015, how was the graph? Much more Europe is considered as a large consumer of cobots, and even automotive sector is much more like good for cobots. Even material handling, these are the applications where cobots are used, like material handling, general assemble, painting, inspection, other welding, yeah, others and welding. So moving to next, what are the cobot types? Cobot types here means like these are the basic types which are in the market now. If you go into the market and if you search for cobot, major manufacturers offer them as a two categories. One is lightweight robot and another is two arm robot. Lightweight robot is nothing but it is just like a simple single articulated robot, and two arm means there will be two arms, means two articulated manipulators connected to single body. These functions like human. So you can see lightweight robots are equipped with sensors and flexibility, providing flexibility for programming, and like key manufacturers again here are KUKA, Universal Robotics. If you see two arm robots, we have 15 axes which can handle payloads up to 40 kg, and many major manufacturers for two arm robots are like ABB, Rethink Robotics. Okay, so these are the players in cobotic world now. If you go outside, you can find this much of cobotic manufacturers. They are majorly from China and Japanese origin. So you can see the first robot here shown in the picture is a two arm robot, and the remaining one are single arm articulated. So some of the major players in cobotic world now are like you can see in the picture. Cooperative manufacturing is again interdisciplinary. It means whenever we are going for cooperative manufacturing, in order to achieve cooperative manufacturing, we need to focus on three disciplines shown in the picture, like worker importance in the manufacturing and SME, even smart manufacturing and industry 4.2, cooperative and intelligent robotics, like what we say cobots. So this will fulfill us to have cooperative manufacturing in the plant, in the manufacturing. So what is primary difference between robot and cobot? See, this is the traditional articulated robot which you are familiar with. So these robots are just a mechanical, electromechanical machines which are working inside the cage. It means they are not able to detect any external force. So you can see in the example, I have attached some weight to the flange, to the end effector of the robot, and the detected force here is very less sensitive. You can see why less sensitive, because it is using motor current feedback. Motor current feedback from servo motors it is using. So these values are not sensitive. That's why we can't rely on motor current feedback kind of detection. So what I did, we attached one force sensor over the end effector, and now we are measuring the weight. Now you can see what is difference. Motor current is detecting some small force here. Even it is negligible, it is not able to detect. and detected force is actually very high by the sensor. So what we do usually is we integrate this end effector force gauge to all of the axis motors, external force, and using, see, this cobot is not only meant for positionally kinematic, like positional kinematics, but even it is having force kinematics. It means cobot is able to detect force at the TCP with the help of kinematic chain of this torque values. So each and every axis is giving some torque value. With that value, cobot is able to detect how much force is applied at the TCP, virtual TCP, anywhere at the anywhere in the space. So this capability allows us to program cobot for certain complex applications where we need sensitivity. So here we to next slide. You can see, first remember, we know that as machines will never get tired or may become distracted by repetitive tasks, both increases quality and consistency. So always we need to remember this. So next, moving to what are the broad applications. What are the applications of the cobot which you can think to implement in manufacturing plant? So first, very large, or we can say major application is in assembly. Why? Because assembly needs some human intervention, and it is a complex, like it is sometimes complex, and more productivity is there when we integrate cobot with human, right? Human intervention is there. So assembly we need to concentrate. So assembly, basically you can see some examples like screw driving and part insertion. Next application will be like dispensing. Dispensing means we can use it for applying glue, seal, or painting. For painting applications also you can use cobot, where during some certain like human can intervene in between during sealing or during gluing or during painting in some complex areas. So this kind of application provide proper collaboration, and we can achieve good productivity and efficiency in painting, gluing, and sealing. Next, finishing. Finishing means sanding or polishing. Now I need to mention here, this application needs actual FT sensors over the end effectors. Many of you have know this. Like, why we need FT sensor? Because we need to put certain force on the component during polishing or sanding. If we put more force, then it may grind more part, it may overrun the part, and if it like overrun or underrun may happen. So that's why we need cobot here. Cobot not only for human safety but for force detection. So we are able to detect force which is applied on the tool or on the workpiece. Next, machine tending in CNC, injection mold, ICT, we can use it. Material handling, obviously you know, material handling, packaging industries and palletizing, even bin packing can use cobots for eliminating cages and in the very low space area or low footprint areas, because usually packaging have very low space areas. Even in material removal, grinding, deburring, milling, routing, again here force detection is very crucial. Quality inspection, welding, and other applications also, like whatever you think. Even in welding we can use cobots. Usually, like even universal robots have already applications for arc welding and soldering. So we will see what is collaborative assembly. Actually, assembly robots are used for lean production, industrial processes, and have expanded production capabilities in the manufacturing world. An assembly line robot can dramatically increase production speed and consistency. Even they serve like tedious and dull assembly line jobs. Next slide, you can see here we are using a vision system. So this assembly task will be carried out with the help of vision. Camera is like recording what has been like what is the procedure of assembly. Once teaching is done, teaching also is very like it's automatic. So once automatic mapping is done, cobot is going to do the task in reality. So this is what this is how it is working there. So after assembly, we will get the same assembly component which was taught earlier by operator. So next see gearbox assembly. So in gearbox assembly is also one of the complex assembly. We can see a robot became compliant during insertion in order to accommodate some irregularities. Then we have some material here, we can see in the video. So in material handling, this is mobile handling which is connected with ARP fleet manager. So cobot is able to like load the component on the mobile platform, and mobile platform uses SLAM technology to locate inside the plant. So you can see there was a scanner which detected human presence, and now it is going to unload the tray to needy one. So this is how mobile handling is working in the plant. This is again collaborative. Next, milling and grinding applications are also there. So building dexterity into robot provides a manufacturing option that is otherwise very difficult to automate. An example, this is like a production of orthopedic implants such as knee and hip joints. Buffing and polishing on hip joint by hand can normally take 90 minutes, while robot can perform the same function in just few minutes. Grinding application again here, collaborative grinding. So here also you can see force is detected by robot. So it is maintaining constant like holding, it is holding with a constant force there, so that overrun or upper run will not happen. Like what we say, over or lower run will not happen. And this is a kind of again collaborative application. We have applications, then we have gluing also. If you see gluing application here, it is dealing with operator. So you can see he just given gesture to cobot and it stops, and again he will give another gesture. This is the input, kind of safety input, and then it is resuming its work. Even here you can see collision detection. This is force monitoring. So robot is triggering a reversal motion. Moving to next, we have another example from Siemens rail system in Germany. So you can see they are using OmniMove handling like bogies inside the plant, like moving from one place to another place. So they are using KUKA OmniMove. OmniMove is another kind of platform developed by KUKA, and it can be controlled with the wireless pendant. So you can see the example here. Operator is going to move it manually. So it is enabled with OmniMove wheels, Mecanum wheels. Mecanum wheels provide you flexibility to maneuver your system anywhere in the space, like three-dimensional, excluding Z direction obviously. And yeah, this is going to dock, and then there will be lifting of the bogie, and we have handled it. This is another kind of application with the mobile platforms. Next, you can see here we can use cobots in some complex applications like adjustment, because adjustment needs feedback, force feedback. So here what you can see is cobot is inserting Allen key, and then it is adjusting headlight thing, like headlight rays. So this adjustment takes few seconds, few minutes to complete. Moreover, like operator will take much more time for that. Human will take much more time. So you can see it is just adjusting the angle of the headlight. We have inspection also here. So inspection is also done with collaborative robot. So it is going to take some pictures, and image processing is carried out for detection of any malfunctions or problems. We have navigation, which we say also as a zero gravity. It means it is assisting operator for carrying heavy loads. So whenever cobot is holding that component, cobot is going to have something we call as in impedance control. It means operator can take that component anywhere in this space, and he will feel weightlessness. Means the cobot is going to comply, or we can say is going to complement that weight. So operator is able to carry load from one place to another place without actually getting the load in his hand. Like this is another application with the help of cobot. So next, you can see this is a kind of IoT application. Why I included this application here is because you can see that how we can use ROS support for integrating with IoTs and mobile apps. So you can see in the video, the college guy is using the application. He entered some IP, and then he's going to connect with our controller. Then he is in real time he's getting talks and tool forces, and then when he want to jog the cobot, it is also possible in real time. So you can see in the video. So even in Cartesian space and axis specific, he is able to move the cobot. Thank you for your time, and this was the brief introduction to cobotic world in the present scenario, like present year. So thanks for being collaborative again with me, for giving your time.